Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Zuckerman, and today I'll be talking about our site visit to the Imperial War Museum in London, specifically in relation to the British war effort of World War II. 1939, outbreak of war. On May 26, the British Parliament passes the Military and Training Act of 1939. Males aged 20 and 21 years old would be called up for 6 months of full-time military training and then transferred to the reserve. On September 1st, Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union invade Poland together under the Molotov-Ribbentrop Non-Aggression Pact. On August 30th, the Royal Navy proceeds to war stations. On September 1st, Operation Pied Piper begins, where children are relocated away from major British cities. Blackouts are also imposed across Britain, and the British Army is officially mobilized. On September 3rd, World War II officially begins. Because of their defense pact with Poland, Britain and France both declare war on Nazi Germany. Here's a quick look at British newspapers at the time. On September 3rd, Parliament enacts the National Service Act. The general mobilization of all British armed services also begins, and the civilian ocean liner SS Athenia is sunk by a German U-boat. On September 4th, the RAF bombs Wilhelmshaven, and on September 9th, the British Expeditionary Force crosses into France. On September 17th, British aircraft carrier HMS Courageous is sunk by a German U-boat. September 24th, gasoline rationing begins. On October 14th, battleship HMS Royal Oak is sunk by another German U-boat. On December 13th, the Battle of the River Plate begins and is the first naval battle of World War II. On December 18th, the Battle of Hilo-Land Bight begins and is the first official air battle of World War II. 1940, Britain's finest hour. January 1st, Britain calls up 2 million 19 to 27-year-olds for military service. On April 9th, Germany invades Denmark and Norway. Britain launches a campaign to defend Norway, but it ultimately ends in failure. And on May 2nd, all remaining British and French troops evacuate from Norway. On May 10th, Germany invades France and the Low Countries. Winston Churchill replaces Neville Chamberlain as Prime Minister. Britain also preemptively invades Iceland to prevent Nazi invasion, and the Parliament passes the Emergency Powers Defense Act of 1940. Here's a quick look of what the German advance into France and Low Countries looked like. On May 26th through June 4th, the evacuation of Dunkirk occurs, codenamed Operation Dynamo. Thousands of French and English soldiers evacuate to Britain to avoid encirclement by the advancing Germans. Due to a lack of military ships during the evacuation from Dunkirk, Britain calls on civilian vessels to evacuate Allied troops from France, an example of which can be seen here at the Imperial War Museum. On June 10th, Italy declares war on Britain and France. Additionally, the North Africa, Mediterranean, and Middle East campaigns begin. On June 14th through the 22nd, France falls and surrenders to the invading Germans. On July 10th through October 31st, the Battle of Britain occurs, which was a battle of air superiority over Britain between the Royal Air Force and the German Luftwaffe. On September 7th, 1940 through May 11th, 1941, the German Luftwaffe conducts devastating bombing raids over Britain called the Blitz. One of the main reasons why the Royal Air Force was able to hold out against the German Luftwaffe was due to the British development of radar technology that allowed them to see incoming German aircraft and coordinate a defense. 1941, war ramps up. On April 10th through November 27th, British and Australian forces valiantly defended the city of Tobruk, Libya, from advancing Axis forces for 241 days, but ultimately ended in a British and Australian surrender. On March 11th, President Roosevelt of the United States enacted the Lend-Lease program, which allowed substantial amounts of military aid to be given to Britain and the Allies. On May 24th, the German Bismarck sinks the pride and joy of the British Navy, the HMS Hood. On May 26th, the Royal Navy avenges the Hood and sinks the Bismarck. On November 13th, a German U-boat sinks the British aircraft carrier HMS Ark Royal. On December 5th, Britain declares war on occupied Finland, Hungary, and Romania. On December 8th, Japan attacks the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii and also invades the British Pacific territories. The Battle of British Hong Kong and the Battle of British Malaya begin, which ultimately end in a British defeat on December 25th. And on December 10th, the Japanese sink the HMS Prince of Wales and the HMS Repulse in the South China Sea. On December 8th, in response to the attacks by Japan, the United States and Britain both declare war on Japan. Additionally, Germany and Italy both declare war on the United States. 1942, a world at war. On January 26th, the first batch of U.S. troops arrived in Britain. On February 8th through February 15th, the Battle of Singapore begins and ends with a British defeat. On April 9th, the Japanese Navy sinks HMS Hermes. On May 5th through May 6th, the Battle of Mascar begins and ends with an Allied victory. Britain also continues its bombing campaign against Germany and its territories. On August 30th through September 2nd, British General Montgomery's 8th Army defeats German Field Marshal Rommel's Afrika Korps at the Battle of Alam el Halfa. On October 23rd through November 11th, the British 8th Army and its allies win a decisive victory over the Axis in North Africa at the Second Battle of El Alamein. November 8th through November 16th, British and U.S. forces launch an invasion to recapture occupied North Africa, codenamed Operation Torch. 1943, a united front. January 23rd, the British 8th Army liberates Tripoli. On May 7th, the Allies successfully push Axis forces out of North Africa. On July 10th, the Allies invade Sicily. On September 3rd through September 16th, the Allies invade Italy, leading to an Italian surrender. 1944, changing tides. On June 6th, the Allied invasion of occupied Normandy begins, codenamed Operation Overlord. British forces land at Gold Beach and Sword Beach. On June 13th, 1944 through March 27th, 1945, Germany launches its V-1s and later V-2 flying bombs at Britain. 1944, the Allies liberate France, Belgium, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Poland, and Czechoslovakia. 1945, the road to victory. March 7th, Allies cross the Rhine River into deep Germany, codenamed Operation Plunder. On April 30th, Hitler commits suicide. On May 7th, Germany officially surrenders, and on May 8th, Allies celebrate Victory in Europe Day. On September 2nd, Japan officially surrenders. On August 15th and September 2nd, the Allies celebrate Victory in Japan Day. Thank you for watching. I hope this gave you some insight on things you will see at the Imperial War Museum in relation to the British war efforts of World War II. I hope you enjoy the museum.